Welcome to our Trojan Sports Now interview. With me this week is Trojan men's golfer Calum Masters. So let's start with a very easy question. Not many people like to play golf, so why did you decide to play golf?
I'm pretty much just my mom. She'd played golf growing up every now and then, but one day she just randomly decided that she was going to go out and pick it up again, kind of get going. And I just asked if I could just randomly go out, and I went out, played 9 holes or so, and then just decided it was something I wanted to pursue, and went out about a week or so later and just ended up going back more and more, and then realized it was actually something I wanted to try and get better at.
So did you play in high school?
Yeah, I had started in 9th grade. I started the high school team, but I started playing golf in like 7th grade, but I didn't try out for the golf team because I didn't think I was good enough. So I ran track 7th grade and then didn't really start golf until 9th grade.
So besides golf and track, did you play any other sports?
I played basketball for quite a long time, till about 10th grade, but I had a bad knee injury in 8th grade. So once I played in 10th, I decided if I want to play Division I golf, I need to stop any other sports and really focus on that.
Now, for people like me who don't know a lot about golf, can you kind of explain how the game works a little bit?
It can be frustrating, more times than fun, I guess you could say at times. But it takes a lot of focus, and it takes a lot of kind of just patience mainly. If you struggle with patience, picking up the game of golf would definitely not be a bad idea because it'll teach you patience in a hurry.
So why did you decide to continue your career and come play at Troy?
It was definitely it was just a sport that I played and I enjoyed a lot, and then it was one that I could see myself possibly having a further career in, because obviously basketball I wasn't really going to go anywhere, and knew I definitely wasn't good enough for that. But golf, from my coach growing up and everything, he kind of told me a few times, you have what it takes, you're just going to have to work for it. And I was fully willing to work for it, so I figured why not just chase it and see what happens, and thankfully it worked out.
Now the women's coach, Bart Barnes, has come over as the men's coach. So what has it been like getting to work with him?
It's been cool. I was not fully expecting him to get it, but I knew there was a pretty good chance, and I was fully okay with that because he followed us around conference and regionals last year and actually walked with me all 3 rounds of regionals. So I knew kind of how he was in tournament situations, and he and I clicked very well. So knowing that he was coming in as head coach, it wasn't really that alarming because I already knew him because I spent 2 years with him because he was always at the facility with us, and then walking around at regionals. So it hasn't been a big change really, but I think it's been a good change for sure.
So how has he helped the team improve?
Coach is really good about kind of watching our guys play, whether it's me or someone else that he's following in a tournament or qualifying, and being able to just kind of view all aspects of our games. And when we get done playing, he'll just straight up tell you where you're messing up, where you need to work on, or he'll tell you where you're doing really good, or what you don't really need to put as much time in because you were doing so well, but you need to put time into this. And that's really exactly what you're asking for out of a coach, is someone that can kind of look at your game and tell you this is where you need to get better to keep moving and progressing.
Now this year's lineup is you, 3 freshmen, and a transfer student. So what has it been like getting to know the new guys on the team?
It's been a lot of fun. It's definitely a change because, I went from being the youngest out of the lineup because we had 4 juniors and me as a freshman my freshman year, and then 4 seniors and then me as a sophomore. So it was kind of weird seeing the roles switched where I get in the van as the most experienced and the one who's played the most competitively on the college level. But getting to know them, it's been a ton of fun. A lot of them I knew before they got here as well, just because of junior golf, because we had a few that were around this area. And so I already knew them, but then being their teammates, that of course brings you a little bit closer. So it's been a lot of fun, no doubt.
So as one of the leaders on this year's team, what's one of the messages you're giving the younger guys?
Mostly just kind of when they're going out, it's just another day of golf. Just because you're in Division I college golf now, you don't need to treat it any different than you were treating junior high school golf. Obviously what you've been doing is good enough to get you to this point. So there's no reason to try and switch things up and like not trusting it. It's just a matter of just go out, play golf, and then just not letting golf like get too big, like not letting it control like how you're acting off the course or even on the course. Like just try and keep it even kill, like a chill demeanor, I guess you could say, and then after that you just go play golf.
And now during your last tournament, you have 5 birdies. So what goes through your mind when you're playing?
Kind of the same thing. Just keep it real calm demeanor. Really try and make sure my mind doesn't get out ahead of myself. Just keep it shot by shot, which is hard to do, but if that's definitely the plan always, because once your mind starts racing, whether you get off to a really good start or a really bad start, if you start thinking like, oh, what this round could be or what you could finish at or where you could turn your scorecard in and it will have this number on it, things can fall off real fast. You have to really try and stay in the moment, and that's something I have to keep on top of really well. But definitely the biggest thing is just taking it shot by shot and not letting my mind race ahead.
And you finished 9 over, so what do you have to do to improve?
Yeah, it was definitely a frustrating 9 over because I left Troy feeling that my game was in the best shape it's been. So that just showed me by the end, and I talked to Coach about it, that when I got to the tournament, it's like I just stopped kind of trusting. The first round I trusted it and I played well, but I don't know what happened the second or third round, but mentality changed and I just didn't really catch on till it was too late. But it's basically just been keep trucking, keep working on what I'm working on, maybe add a few more things in there so when the pressure hits, like swings more solid, it doesn't really fall off as much. But the main thing is I'm just trying to keep every day practicing and force myself like this, like you're hitting it this well or you're playing this well. When you get ready to leave Sunday, there's no reason your mindset should change. You should keep it the same no matter if it's a tournament or not.
And unfortunately, the team finished last. So what do you and the other guys have to do in practice to maybe improve?
I think because when we got back, Coach basically said nobody deserves an exemption. Everyone's qualifying for 5 spots, and I was like, I couldn't agree more. Like I led the team with 9 over. I don't deserve an exemption, so I don't think anybody does. But that was definitely a huge step, is just throw everyone out there and basically say 5 spots are up for grabs. Whoever plays and gets in is in. So then that makes everything way more competitive because obviously all of our guys want to get in. All of our guys want to make it to the next tournament or even keep their spot in the van. So anytime your spot in the van is up for jeopardy, like that's when you know it's time to buckle down. And I think being more competitive in practice is definitely a big step because like you said, 3 freshmen and a transfer, guys who pretty much haven't played on Division I level yet, which is not that big of a difference, but it's easy to let your mind think there's a big difference. So the more competitive and more serious you can be in practice, like competing with each other head to head, whatever it may be or whatever it takes, definitely prepares you for a tournament leading up.
Right. And the men's team has been to an NCCAA Regional 3 years in a row. So what would it mean to get there for a 4th season?
That would be huge. I mean, it wouldn't be super surprising because I fully expect it to happen with the talent that we have. But I know it would definitely be disappointing if we didn't make it because looking at our guys on the range, looking at our scores in qualifying, we have what it takes to make it to that 4th year in a row. No doubt in more years to come, I fully believe it's just a matter of, like I said, when we go out and play, we just need to trust in our game, trust in what we're doing back in Troy, and just go play golf.
And in 2016, you won the Sun Belt Championship, but lost in the semifinals last year. So what does the team have to do to get back to being the champions of the men's Sun Belt?
Like I said, with our guys, the group that we have now, making practice as competitive as possible will get us ready for that because match play is big time difference from stroke play because match play, it's head to head. The person you're paired up with, that's all you're worrying about, and you get to watch them shot for shot just like they get to watch you shot for shot. And definitely kind of adding that match play mentality into practice will help for sure because I know when I was coming out of junior golf, we didn't really play a lot of match play events. So it's definitely a new mentality you have to kind of get used to, and I think the more that we can recreate that leading up to April or so, the better we'll be prepared.
And on Monday, you'll be in Birmingham for the Shoal Creek Invitational. What is Coach Barnes' message to y'all before y'all go play?
Pretty much just he's talking about having some meetings with us, talking about the last tournament with the guys that traveled, kind of understand what he saw and what he thinks we need to kind of have in mind, I guess, going into the next tournament. But also, I mean, it's just kind of everyone should by this point know what kind of let them down at Carpet Capital, and it's just a matter of working on that, and they should have already been working on it because we leave in like 2 days, so it's getting to that time to where the game should be back in shape and ready to go. But he's pretty much just telling us, like, look guys, first tournament of the year is under our belts, no more excuses, it's like just go play golf, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Now, on to you. What do you like to do when you're not playing golf?
I usually play quite a few FIFA matches with my roommates, which I'm by far the worst in the house, so that's always, I mean, it's not as fun, but it's at least a challenge. And then other than that, just chill, maybe watch some Netflix or something. But every now and then we'll go down to Sartain, we had a few basketball games between us and the women's team, so that was fun.
Now, when you're not playing, do you like to watch it on TV?
Yeah, I do. Not like every weekend, but if it's definitely the big tournaments, always watching those. But for the most part, I like to watch it over the weekend or something like that, because I think you definitely have to watch the players like playing on the level that you want to get to in order to have kind of keep that drive going and keep understanding and seeing like what they do so well and where we need to work on our games to get to that level at the end.
Now, football players, you see them walking into the stadium with their headphones, listening to music. Do you have anything you like to do before you go?
It's definitely not on that level, that's for sure. But usually on the van ride from the hotel or host house, wherever we're staying, to the course, I am just sitting in the van, just have some headphones on, but it's no like pump up music. It's real chill, calm, relaxed music, just kind of like slowly wake up to, because we're usually up early, and just keep the mind focused. Then once I get to the actual like course, it's eat breakfast and then go and sit in the locker room by myself and stretch, and that usually gives me time, just me by myself, just kind of trying to get ready and kind of think about what our mental approach is going to be for the day.
Do you have any tips for someone who's just getting started playing?
Mostly just don't get frustrated, because it's a tough game, 100%. But and it's a game that it's hard to make really fast improvements, and it's something that when you're working on a certain aspect, whether it's swing, short game, putting, whatever it may be, it's not like you can't just go out there, work on it for one day and come out the next day and expect it to happen. It's going to take like at least a week to see somewhat of an improvement, but to really get it down, it takes, like, it just depends on what the move is or whatever you're working on. But definitely the big thing is patience, and just have fun with it, because if you're having fun with it, then it's easier to play well than if you're just all uptight and just hoping that you go out and just shoot a good number, and if not, you're super mad.
Yeah. So right now, some of the top golfers in the world, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson. Do you have a favorite professional golfer right now?
Jordan Spieth's he's always been my favorite.
I like watching him.
Yeah, most people do. But I don't know, he's just very like emotional at times, which is always fun to watch. But I mean, that's not my level, so I guess that's probably why it's even more fun, because I don't ever see myself doing it, so it's fun watching someone else do it. But I mean, obviously it works for him, so it's not like that needs to switch. And then his short game and putting, like his putting by far is the best on tour, and that's something that I need to work on. So it's always fun watching him putt, to see if there's anything that, like, just watching his routine or whatever it may be. And then he wins a lot, so it's always fun watching someone win.
Yeah, I remember watching him in the Open during the playoff, and he hit that bunker shot to win, and he threw his club and then jumped up with his caddyman. That was so fun to watch.
That's a typical Spieth moment there.
Yes. All right. And lastly, do you have a favorite course that you like to play on?
I like to play on, I like the Grove, Middle Tennessee's tournament that we go to every fall. It's not the easiest of courses, but it's just super cool scenery up in Tennessee, especially towards the end of fall, like leaf colors are changing and everything. But as far as favorite course that I've probably been to would be Oakland Hills up in Michigan when I went up for the USAM. Not this past summer, but summer before that, because obviously there's tons of history there, major championships hosted there or whatever. But being there with those caliber of players and basically a national championship other than the NCAA national championship, and people from all over the world, top golfers, it was a really cool venue and sight to see.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And now stay tuned for what's coming up in Trojan Sports right after this.